Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start off by saying, Call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakak, Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four corners of the globe, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rakaria, from the GMS Orlando camp. And the title of tonight's lesson is going to be, Fear is present to keep us alive. All right, fear is present to keep us alive. And just coming at you with this GMS quick hit, not going to make this lesson too long. I just wanted to speak on the importance of fearing the Lord. All right, fearing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay, because that is what's keeping us alive. All right, the fear of the Lord is what keeps us functional and what promotes our steady growth within the spirit. And it's important that we don't lose that. All right, because fear in general, for most people, especially for us in this truth, is a great motivator. All right, fear is an excellent motivator. All right, and in most cases, in most circumstances, it's what keeps you alive. All right, think about when you're climbing up too high, getting too high up in the sky, that fear that kicks in to tell you, hey, we need to get our ass down to the ground. In most cases, that's what keeps you alive. All right, that's what keeps you from falling. All right, when you're dealing with these different animals, these different savage animals, that fear that kicks in to tell you, hey, maybe we shouldn't be fucking with that. In most cases, that's what keeps people alive. That fear that kicks in. All right, even dealing with your parents, your father, your mother. All right, that fear that kicks in to tell you that tells you, hey, maybe we should stop. All right, dad, mom, they ain't gonna like that. Maybe we should just chill out. All right, in most cases, that's what keeps you from getting reprimanded. So how much more Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua? All right, that fear should always kick in. All right, you should always be thinking, okay, maybe the Lord wouldn't like that. All right, or maybe the Lord would like for me to do this instead. All right, or maybe I should do this instead of that. That fear that kicks in is important. All right, that fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is important to have, especially in this walk of ours, man, because that's what keeps us alive and successful and prosperous the majority of the time. So without further ado, just want to grab a couple of scriptures. Lord's willing, this is edifying unto the elect. First, let's grab this in Proverbs, the first chapter. All right, you already know where I'm going. This is Proverbs 1 and verse 7. It says, the fear of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. All right, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it's the beginning of knowledge. All right, once we begin to fear the Lord and keep his commandments, keep his will, keep his ways, that's when the Lord begins to sup with us. He begins to bestow upon us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And by that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's bestowed upon us through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we're able to apply it to our lives and live. All right, we're able to apply it to our lives and be successful, be prosperous. All right, and it helps keep us out of bad and adverse situations, man. All right, once we begin to keep our mind on the law of the Heavenly Father, pursuing the Joshua, the first chapter and the 8th verse, then our ways begin to become prosperous. Then we begin to have a good success. Once we start to apply the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, but in order to get that wisdom, you first must fear the Lord. All right, you first must fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. We're not talking about a fear in like how they say in the world, like a phobia, where you just completely terrified. No, we're talking about a healthy fear. All right, that type of fear that drives you to do what the Heavenly Father asks of you to do. All right, that fear that you have of just comparing it to worldly things, just that fear you have of your boss. Some jakes have that fear of their boss. It's not a terrified fear, but it's a fear that if they don't do what the boss tells them to do, they won't get that paycheck. All right, it's a healthy type of fear. That fear that if you don't do what Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua tells you to do, then you won't reap the rewards. All right, if you don't sow in the spirit like the Heavenly Father requires of us to sow in the spirit, then you won't reap those spiritual rewards. All right, you won't reap those physical rewards. And that's a type of fear that you have to have toward Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That fear that a servant has to his master. All right, that fear that a son has to his father. Okay, let's get this in Malachi chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, a son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith Yahweh by Shem Yahushai of hosts unto you, O priests who despise my name. And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? But the point being, the Lord said, a son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? All right, and we're talking about the Father of spirits. All right, the Father of all creation. Everything that you see around you came from Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right, so if the Lord be a father, where is his honor? All right, if you will honor your regular father, if you honor any other father on this earth, how much more Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, the Father of creation? You know, where is the Lord's honor? And how do you show honor to your father? How do you show honor to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai? By fearing him, man. All right, by being in subjection, submitting to his will. All right, that's how you fear the Lord, submitting to his will. All right, walking according to the laws, statutes, and commandments that he left down for us to walk in. All right, that's how we fear the Lord, man. All right, that's how we honor the Lord. It's by doing what he said to do. All right, and it's important. It says, a son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And the Lord is showing us, and the Lord is treating us like sons. So like you. All right, the Lord is showing himself to be a true father, man, a perfect father. All right, the way that he's chastising us as a nation, the way that he's taking us through these different trials, taking us through these different obstacles, you know, and he's growing us. All right, he's building us up from the ground up. He's showing himself to be a perfect father. And he's greatly to be honored, greatly to be praised for that, man. All right, no other God, there is no other God on earth. All right, when you look at these other nations, what are their gods doing? They're requiring of them blood sacrifices, their children to pass through the fire. They're requiring them to cut themselves up, jump around like fools. But the Lord is only requiring of us to do what he tells us to do, which is to walk in his law, statutes, commandments. All right, walk in the ways of righteousness, walk in the ways of life. That's all the Lord is requiring of us. All right. Fear, the Lord is only requiring us to fear him enough to live. Literally. All right. Everything that the Lord left behind for us to walk after is literally the ways of life. Don't eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster. Why? Because those are bottom feeders. All right. Those are animals who don't filter out what they eat. All right. Don't commit adultery with your brother's wife. Why? Because that causes diseases first and foremost. And then that's wicked, man. All right, that's wicked. You know, for many reasons. You know that I'm drawing a blank right now, but you know why it's wicked. All right, I shouldn't have to explain to you why sleeping with your brother's wife is wicked. All right, but the Lord left it behind for us not to do for a reason, man. All right, because that's a way of death, man. You know, but it says a son honors his father, Salaki, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where's my fear? And also going into that father aspect, all right, you have to understand that this chastisement that we're going through is the Lord treating us like sons. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Just like going into Proverbs. All right, the scriptures also say in Proverbs that to train up a child in the way that he should go, so that when he's older, he won't depart, roughly paraphrasing. All right, and that's exactly what the Lord is doing to us right now. He's training us up in a way to where when we get older, we won't depart from that way. All right. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. All right. If ye endure chastening, the heavenly Father dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? All right. What son, what father would not chasten his son when he sees him going off, if he loves him? You know, what father do you know, a good father, who doesn't chastise his son when he sees his son going off? All right. If you don't love your son, then you let him do whatever the hell you want him. You let him do whatever the hell he want to do. But the Lord isn't doing us like that. Why? Because he loves us. He's treating us like sons, and he's to be honored for doing so. All right. It says he's to be feared for doing so. It says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. So if we didn't go through this chastisement, if the Lord didn't treat us like this, if he didn't take us through these different obstacles and trials and tribulations, then he would be treating us like bastards. And we see what the Lord is about to do to the bastards on this earth. He's about to completely wipe them out, man. Completely destroy them. You see? And for that reason, the Lord is greatly to be feared and he's greatly to be honored, man. The Lord is our Father. So where is his honor? How do you show him honor? By walking after his ways, by honoring what he, by submitting to his will. All right. But going back to Malachi 1 in 6, it says, "The son honoreth his father, and the servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, unto you." All right. And if the Lord be a father and a master, where is his fear? Where is his honor? All right, how do you show him fear? How do you show him honor? By listening, man, by following after his ways, by submitting to his will. All right, that fear is important because that fear is what keeps us alive. By submitting to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's will, the Lord begins to make our ways prosperous. All right, he begins to keep us. All right, he begins to protect us. All right, he begins to shield us. He becomes our shield and buckler at that point. When we begin to listen, when we begin to follow after his ways, man. The Lord begins to lay out our path, man, and subdue all our enemies. So with that being said, I got one more. All right, let's get this in Psalms 103. And let's start at verse 13. It says, "Like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, pitieth them that fear him." All right, and just like we read in Malachi 1 and 6, the Lord is our Father. All right. And just like any good father, if you fear him, if you honor him, he's going to pity you. All right. And when you get this word for pity in Psalms 103 and 14, it's Raham. All right. Which means to love. All right. Love deeply, have mercy, be compassionate, have tender affection, have compassion. All right. So if you fear the Lord, just like a father pitieth his children. Let me read it again. It says, like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. All right. So when you fear the Lord is going to pity you, man. He's going to have mercy on you. He's going to have compassion. He's going to have affection towards you. All right. And by those very same affections, by that very same compassion and mercy that the Lord shows us after we fear him, we live. All right. We live off of the Lord's mercy. We live off of the Lord's compassion that he shows towards us daily. So it's important to fear him, so that we may receive these mercies, so that we may receive this compassion from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, especially in the days and the hour that we enter into, man. All right, we're going to need the Lord's compassions greatly. So with that being said, man, continue to fear the Lord, man. All right, when you do a simple word search in the scriptures, you'll see how many times the word fear the Lord comes up, letting you know how important it is just alone to fear the Lord, man. All right, fearing the Lord is an important topic. All right, it's an important skill to master. And, if you get what I'm saying, man, fearing the Lord is an important skill to master in His truth, man. And it can get you far. We see it now. All right, we see the fruits of fearing the Lord now. All right, while the rest of this world is headed for damnation, we're headed for salvation. Lord, when we be counted that number. But, with that being said, Shalom.